Welcome to this training module on a cornerstone of professional healthcare, the Patient's Bill of Rights. As a certified nursing assistant, you are entering a profession built on the foundation of human rights and legal protections. It is essential to understand that when an individual receives medical care, they do not lose their rights as citizens or as human beings. In fact, both federal and state laws have been specifically designed to protect individuals while they are in a healthcare setting. These legal protections are collectively known as the Patient's Bill of Rights. Think of this document not just as a set of rules, but as a roadmap for how we must conduct ourselves every single day. These rights outline exactly what every person can expect to receive and how they can expect to be treated while they are under the care of a healthcare provider or residing in a long-term care facility. Now, some of these rights involve complex medical decision-making. These are primarily handled by licensed professionals, such as physicians and registered nurses. For example, the right to receive immediate emergency treatment or the right to make specific legal decisions about end-of-life care, such as advance directives or DNR orders, are usually facilitated by the medical and nursing leadership. However, and this is the most important part of your training, many of these rights directly involve the daily hands-on care that happens at the bedside. These rights are the collective responsibility of the entire healthcare team, but because you, the CNA, spend the most one-on-one time with the residents, your role is pivotal. Your actions, your style of communication, and your level of professionalism are the primary factors that determine whether these rights are truly upheld or if they are being violated. Today, we are going to focus on the key rights that relate directly to your daily practice as a CNA. The first pillar of the Patient's Bill of Rights we will discuss is the right to dignity and respect. This may sound like common sense, but in a clinical environment, it requires a conscious effort. Every resident you care for must be treated as an individual with inherent value. They are not a room number, and they are not a diagnosis. They are people with histories, families, and feelings. Upholding dignity starts with how we communicate. This means speaking respectfully at all times. It means addressing the resident by their preferred name. Perhaps they prefer Mr. Smith or Miss Dorothy, rather than using pet names like Honey or Sweetie, which can often feel patronizing or demeaning to an adult. It also means monitoring your vocabulary and delivery. You must strictly avoid harsh, rude, or dismissive language, even if a resident is being difficult. Providing care in a professional and compassionate manner means maintaining your composure and showing empathy, even when the work is physically demanding. Here is a CNA practice tip for your daily workflow. We know that healthcare environments are fast-paced. You will have busy shifts where you feel the pressure of the clock. However, your tone of voice and your body language matter immensely. If you are sighing, rolling your eyes, or moving roughly, you are communicating to the resident that they are a burden. You must never rush care in a way that makes the resident feel like a task to be checked off a list instead of a human person. Dignity is maintained in the quiet moments, the way you tuck in a sheet or the way you explain what you're doing before you do it. Next, let's discuss the right to privacy. In a healthcare facility, residents often have to give up a lot of their personal space, which makes our duty to protect their privacy even more critical. This right applies to both personal and physical privacy. Think about the most vulnerable moments of your day. For a resident, those moments happen during bathing, dressing, and toileting. They have a right to be shielded from the view of others during these times. This also applies during medical treatments and procedures, and even during private conversations they might have with their doctor or family members about their health information. Privacy also extends to the legal realm of HIPAA, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. This means that a resident's medical records, their diagnosis, and even the fact that they are in the facility are confidential. Our CNA practice tip for privacy is simple but vital. Always knock and wait for permission before entering a room. This is their home, after all. Always close doors and pull privacy curtains completely during care, ensuring there are no gaps. And finally, be extremely careful about where you speak. Avoid discussing a resident's health information in hallways, elevators, or public dining areas where other residents or visitors might overhear you. Privacy is about maintaining the resident's boundaries, both physically and through the information we share. One of the most challenging rights for new CNAs to navigate is the right to refuse care. Under the law, residents have the right to refuse treatment or care, even if you, the nurse, or the doctor believe that the care is clearly beneficial to their health. It can be frustrating when you know a resident needs a bath or needs to change their position to prevent pressure sores, and they say no. However, we cannot override their autonomy. Your responsibility as a CNA when a resident refuses is very specific. First, you must remain calm and respectful. Do not take the refusal personally. Second, you must never argue with the resident or attempt to force the care. Forcing care against a resident can, in some cases, be legally defined as battery. Finally, you must report the refusal promptly to your supervising nurse. The nurse needs to know so they can assess the situation, document the refusal, and perhaps try a different approach later. Above all, you must never threaten, shame, or pressure a resident into accepting care. You cannot say, "If you don't take this bath, you won't get dessert." That is a violation of their rights. We respect their no while ensuring the medical team is informed. Finally, we must address the most fundamental right of all, the right to be free from abuse. Every resident has the absolute right to live in an environment that is safe and free from harm. Abuse can take many forms, and as a CNA, you must be vigilant in identifying all of them. Physical abuse involves any intentional bodily harm. Verbal or emotional abuse includes yelling, threatening, or belittling a resident. Sexual abuse is any non-consensual sexual contact or interaction. Financial exploitation involves the misuse of a resident's funds or property. For example, a staff member taking money from a resident's bedside table. And finally, neglect is the failure to provide the necessary care and services to maintain a resident's health and safety. In your role, you are what the law calls a mandated reporter. This is a heavy and important title. It means that if you witness abuse, or even if you merely suspect that abuse or neglect is occurring, you are legally required to report it. You do not need proof to report. You only need a reasonable suspicion. You must report it immediately according to your facility's specific policy. Protecting the resident from harm is our highest priority and our most sacred legal duty. To wrap up, the Patient's Bill of Rights is not just a document on a wall. It is the standard of care you provide every single shift. By treating residents with dignity, protecting their privacy, respecting their right to say no, and ensuring they are safe from abuse, you are not just doing your job. You are upholding the law and honoring the humanity of those in your care. Your professionalism as a CNA is the bridge between these legal rights and the resident's daily reality. Take these responsibilities seriously, and you will provide the high-quality, ethical care that every resident deserves.